How's it going, guys? It's Diego from the Foot and Fist Sports Network, here to tell you that Manchester United are finally back to the club that we used to love, or at least I used to love. You might be a rival supporter, and all respect to you, but United are the team that I love. So I'm glad to see that we are finally getting back to the levels that we used to be under Sir Alex Ferguson. And you're probably thinking, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about after that performance against West Ham? What I'm here to tell you is that's the type of performance that a team who is going to be competing for the top of the league needs to put in. Now, you're not always going to dominate every single team, and you're not always going to have easy games. But the important thing is, when you do have those rough games like we had against West Ham, is that you pull out the result. Whether you get lucky, like we sort of did, or whether you have to go against the odds and pull out something very, very spectacular like we did against Middlesbrough. Those are the type of performances that a top team needs to put in order to really compete for the top spots in the league, especially in a league like the Premier League, where there are so many high-level rivals that are competing for very few spots. It's not like La Liga, where there's only two teams. It's not like Serie A, where there's only one team, or Bundesliga, where there's really only two or three. This year is like it's shockingly weird, but usually it's just Bayern Munich all alone. You know what I mean? This is the only league where there are really multiple teams competing for a major trophy or a major domestic title. And that's something that United are really starting to improve on, because under David Moyes or under Louis van Gaal, we would have had basically a collapse. We would have either lost that game or at best gotten a tie. And that's not something that Jose Mourinho is going to be accepting. You know what I mean? There was a little bit of time there, November and end of October, where we were starting to get a few too many draws. But that was just because he was really starting to experiment with the team. And now that he's found his main players, his starting 11, or at least his top 13 players, he now knows exactly what he has to do, and the players know what they have to do in order to get out the results and squeeze out results when really they probably shouldn't, like last night. Now, West Ham fans, if you're watching this, or anybody who is thinking, okay, this guy's just going to be biased to United, that's just not the way it is. West Ham United probably didn't deserve to lose that game. Now, the early red card to Feghouli, in my opinion, wasn't a red card. I think that was over exaggerated by the referee. It was a dangerous tackle, probably should have been a yellow card, but it never really should have been a red card. It was definitely a bogus red card. However, later Kouyaté also should have gotten a red card. He put in for a very dangerous tackle, two-legged tackle from behind. It should have been a red card. And there was also a shout for Phil Jones to be getting a red card. So it's just weird because that Kouyaté tackle didn't even get a card. So I think the referee was sort of like he realized that he made a mistake early on with the Phil Jones with the Feghouli situation, and two rights, or in this situation, like 2 or 3 wrongs don't make a right. So the referee really had an awful performance, and you can't really blame that on Manchester United. That's simply the referee's mistakes, and he didn't just make mistakes in favor of Man United, like the offside of Zlatan's goal, but he also made them in favor of West Ham. So it's a double-edged sword, and United were simply the better team at taking the chances that they were given, and they were, at the end of the day, we probably deserved the win. I don't think we deserved it 2-0. I don't think that West Ham deserved to be going through the amount of adversity that they had to go through as early on. Like I said, Kouyaté should have been sent off. But at the end of the day, Manchester United deserved it more than West Ham, and that's why we got the result. And I'm very happy to see that United are able to squeeze out these tough results, because like I said earlier, under the previous 2 managers, there was no way in hell we'd be getting these kind of results in these tough situations. We were pretty much only able to win when the other teams just bent over and let us fuck them. That doesn't happen anymore. You know what I mean? Nowadays, you have to fight against every single team in the Premier League. And a team like West Ham, who are 16th, 17th, are struggling, but they have they have a lot of good players at least. They're always going to put you in under a lot of pressure, especially at home. And even teams like Middlesbrough, who are piss poor, they're still pretty solid, I guess you could say, at defense, because of the fact that they have Victor Valdez, who, even though, let's just be real, he isn't one of the reasons that Barcelona won the league and all those titles back in the day. He's still a pretty solid keeper. He's decent, and he's very good with his feet, and he can make some pretty good reflex saves. He's not the best, but he's pretty damn solid, and the defense in general did very well in that game. So United are definitely fighting from very difficult situations and are pulling out results. That's the big thing, and that's what makes me think that Manchester United are back. And especially to see, in such quick succession, there was the one game the 31st and the other game was the 2nd of January. To play in that close proximity to each other between games, having had such a high-intensity game against Middlesbrough that was very tight until the very end and was very stressful for the players and the fans. And then to play against West Ham in another very stressful game and a very difficult game away, it was just a very, very, very tough situation. And to have come out of that with 6 points is massive, especially considering that Manchester City, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal are all dropping points. They are all having some trouble right now, except for Chelsea. So we are getting closer. We're now only like 1 point behind the 4th spot, and we're very, very close to Arsenal, to Liverpool, and who are only 5 points ahead of us in second. So I mean, there's a lot of possibilities of us going in there and taking second. I'm actually very confident that we will finish at least top 3, but I'm actually aiming for second. I think that Chelsea are just a bit too far, but I wouldn't put it past United to be able to catch up to, within 6 points of Chelsea, because eventually they are going to struggle and maybe even put some pressure on them, but I think that they're just a bit too far off, and Antonio Conte is a winner through his core. Once again, the cat is trying to break stuff. He's just a winner through his core, so it's not going to be easy to catch him, and I don't think we'll be able to. But second spot is definitely up for grabs, and I do believe that we will be able to beat them, because I think that Liverpool have a lot of errors in them, and they will collapse. Manchester City haven't convinced me at all, and Pussy Pep, I'm going to be doing a video about him, because he is probably the least convincing coach or manager in the Premier League based on some of the statements he's been making lately. And that guy, like I've been saying for a while, he's a fraud. So make sure you tune into that video coming out very soon. And if you enjoyed the video, guys, let me know with a like, and maybe subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, if you want to see that Pep Guardiola video, or if you're interested in mixed martial arts. Those are my specialties. And if you enjoyed it, please share it with any friends that you think might be interested. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think that Manchester United are indeed back, or if I'm just going a bit overboard. I like to take things game by game, but if you look at the past, 6 games, we've won all 6, and then we were unbeaten since October 23rd. Those are some big things. I like to take things game by game, but if you look at things game by game, you see that there's very positive results, and you see that we are back. So let me know if you agree with that. And if you enjoyed it, I will see you in the next one, and I will see you in that video, which I just said, but whatever, I'll see you then, guys.